Hello everyone, Coach Carole here with Masterclass number 2. These are the weekly masterclasses for the course, Discover Your Roots. Today I'll take you on a journey on how you can discover your roots using 2 of the famous online databases, Find My Past and Ancestry, 2 of the more popular ones. First, I want to show you what's coming up for you today. I'll share my screen. And this is what we'll cover in the masterclass today. First of all, the importance of family trees and how that will impact on the way in which you go about researching and building them. Then I'll look at the online family tree building tools and hopefully impress upon you the best way for you to make your choices and to start building your family tree in one or more. And finally, building out and managing a family tree on either platform is also included in today's agenda. So I'm going to unpack the family trees, show you some steps for building the trees, manage your research, and track your progress. So your project work for this week is to select your preferred tree. Don't forget, I've got several examples for you in the course, and you can have a look at as many of those videos as you like, or if you've already chosen one, then go with that for the rest of the course. The next step is to begin your family tree in your chosen software program with as much detail as you have already about your family, perhaps back to the 3rd generation, your grandparents. And of course, track your progress. And I'll have some tips along the way on how you can best do that as you are starting to build your tree. Before I get on to the researching online, I do want to share with you some of the really important reasons why you may want to build your family tree. We're going to focus on building your family tree using Ancestry and Find My Past. But before we dive into the specifics of creating the tree, let's consider why it's important to do so. Building a family tree is not only exciting and rewarding, it's a hobby and one that can become a lifelong passion. But it's also an important way to preserve your family history. And what you're doing is creating a legacy for the future generations, your grandchildren and their children. When you build your tree and uncover the stories and the struggles of your ancestors, you can gain a deeper understanding of the roots of your culture and your own identity. If you've ever watched those programs on TV, Who Do You Think You Are? Or My Grandfather's War, you'll know what I mean. Knowing who came before you is an important step in finding your own identity. We can, of course, also connect with living relatives whom we may never have known before, distant cousins that may also be searching their family trees, and you may find them on those online databases such as Find My Past or Ancestry. And this, of course, deepens and strengthens our sense of family unity. We're not alone in our pursuits. But building a family tree also has other benefits. For example, it could solve a family mystery. There may be something that you've heard a rumor about in the family legends, and you just want to find out if that is true. Building a tree will help you trace your lineage back through the centuries. In my trees, I have researched back as far as the late 1600s with some of the parish records that exist for that period and for that place in the world. You may even discover medical conditions that your ancestors had that may explain why they perpetuate in your own family. And additionally, it can be a lot of fun and an adventure, an educational activity for children and grandchildren. Get them involved. Get them to foster a love of history and genealogy that can last a lifetime. So there are many places online that you can go to do your research. Here's a brief overview of some of those resources. Of course, the internet is a treasure trove of information, and there are numerous websites and databases available that can help you build a more complete and accurate family tree. Some of the most useful records include online archives and libraries. These are great resources for accessing historical records such as census, birth, death, and marriage, certificates and licenses, and many of these records are available for free, while others require a subscription. Be mindful of that when you start going down the track of selecting your database. You'll also find social media and networking sites abound with genealogists and budding family historians like yourself across the world. Now, these can be really useful for connecting with distant relatives and, of course, other genealogy enthusiasts. And they might help you with your research. And you can connect with them via the social media groups. So other useful websites include Family Search. Now, this is what they call the biggest family tree in the world because it is one tree. And if you establish your tree there, it's publicly available to everyone. It's run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they have billions of historical records and include online tutorials and guides. You have others such as MyHeritage and specific sites like Find a Grave. This free website allows users such as you to search through their database about graves and memorials that might exist for your ancestors around the world. So some tips for using online resources to supplement your family tree information include these tips. Be cautious. Don't rely solely on online resources. While those online tools can be a great resource for your research, not all the information contained in them is accurate or reliable. You always need to cross-check your information with multiple sources and use offline resources such as libraries and archives wherever possible. And when you're using online resources, don't forget to record where you found them. So that is called recording your citations. When you are using online research tools, you can also benefit by using the search filters and keywords built into those databases. You might want to use those specific keywords and filters to help narrow down your search and find the information you're looking for. Don't forget, you can also collaborate and share. So don't be afraid to reach out to others who may be researching the same family lines or surnames as yourself. Have a look on the One Name Guild. Perhaps someone has built an entire website on your family name. I was very lucky to have found one of these for my Allery ancestors, and I often go there to verify the information that I'm also researching. So there are many ways in which you can use those websites for your genealogy research. If you are, like I am, often looking into English records, sometimes Welsh, you can narrow that down to a particular county. For example, in my recent research, I'm looking for details of family members who lived in Essex. And when I look at the specific places that I can search for Essex records, I find that I can also go directly to the Essex Society for Family History. That prompts me to remind you that perhaps that is the case for your county as well, whether that county be in English, Irish, Welsh, Scottish, American, wherever your family lived. Have a look for those specific county family historians. Then, of course, you have such places as their record office. For Essex, for example, I can go directly to the Essex Record Office. And within the databases, I can go directly to those for Essex and therefore have a better chance of finding the records I'm after. So when you are using these online resources, remember to use filters and keywords. Also look for alternative spellings and variations. Keep in mind that names and locations may have been spelled differently in the past. So it's important to consider alternate spellings and variations. And you can use nicknames, and you may even use what we call wildcards, which are like asterisks that you may put into that search. Check too for multiple records. If you found one source in a family tree, it's important to check that there is another to help verify what you've found. So apply all of these tips in seeking your information about your ancestor. Start with the known, use filters and keywords, consider alternate spellings, and check multiple sources. You could also use graphic images that you have. Perhaps you've got old photos, digitize those and use those to help build out your family tree. So if you're using a public tree and you paste in an image like that, it will help other people find you, and perhaps you can learn from what they have researched. Now what we will do is pause for a moment, and I'll give you a demonstration on how you can do your specific research and build your tree inside Find My Past and Ancestry.